What's up, and welcome to episode 33 of Invisible Walls. I'm Shane Satterfield, editor-in-chief of the site, and tonight on Game Trailers TV, we have a big Warner Brothers episode. We're going to show off Fear 2, Wanted, which is a lot better than you probably think it is, and Batman Arkham Asylum for the very first time. So make sure you check it out, 1 a.m., no matter where you're living. On the show this week, we have Grumpy McGrump.
Bonjour.
Justin, who's apparently French today.
I am Le Grump.
Justin Spear.
Hey. Hey, guys.
Daniel Bloodworth.
What's up?
Patrick Morales.
Always a pleasure.
An all-star crew today. We got a good show, so make sure that you stick around.
Word is there's a big race going down today on the west side. Eyes will be watching you, so steal the show.
All right, we're just going to rock right into it. We got a lot of stuff to get through with all the games coming out right now. First, we're going to talk to Daniel Bloodworth about Need for Speed Undercover, Underground.
Underwhelming.
Yeah, that franchise has kind of been on a slow burn out for the last few entries.
Yeah, I think the problem is that basically EA is, looking at it as bread and butter, kind of like Madden, and no matter what, it's coming out on this date, even if it's not anywhere near being ready.
Yeah, last year's game, Pro Street, was a pretty big departure for that series, because before it was always about arcade racing, and it's more about making your car look good than really worrying about, adjusting the camber or, the air pressure in your tires or whatever.
Yeah.
How has the game sort of approached that this time? Is there a lot of tuning stuff in it, or did it go back to its old ways?
It's more of its old ways. There's some light tuning things, but, mainly you're just focused on, just whatever cars you get from pink slips or whatever cars you want to buy. But for the most part, you don't have to worry about that because the game is pretty flat out easy the whole way through. So
yeah, now you had an online session with a bunch of developers from EA, right? And you were like totally destroying them.
yeah, I don't know what that was about. I think they might have been letting me win or something. But
Why would they do that, though?
I don't know.
They want you to like it, I guess?
These guys said that, these QA guys have been playing it for 6 months, and I had like 8-second leads at the end, and there were times where I totally blew it, or one time there was a guy that walked away from an Xbox, and I was stuck behind his car.
No way.
And so I had to back up and go around him.
And you still won?
Yeah.
I think PR stunt. That's what it smells of, PR stunt.
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, you played it for what, 5 days or something like that? Yeah. And trust me, I have faith in your skills as a driving game player, but I mean, come on. That's crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, even the game itself, they have, you win by getting first place, but then they also have these dominating times. And it became such a cliche because every time it's you dominated, you dominated, you dominated. And some of them I beat by 20 seconds.
Yeah, I saw some of your scores. It was you dominated. The domination score was 20 seconds higher than what you had went through. So
yeah, so I mean that's my biggest complaint. It's just so easy. And then the other thing is that the game feels pretty empty. There's not a lot of traffic. They didn't put any kind of pedestrians in it like Midnight Club did, although not many racing games do have pedestrians.
And you can't choose your own way. They don't give you one waypoint, another waypoint, and say find the fastest way from point A to point B. It's a clearly defined track.
There's sometimes where it splits off into 3 different routes, but yeah, they do some weird things that don't make sense in an illegal street racing vibe, because here's a whole bunch of concrete barriers keeping you from going off the track.
Well, illegal street races are all about the rules and the regulations.
But there are events, though, where they have you go point to point. When you steal a car, they give you, first you've got to get away from the cops, and then you have to get to the point they want you to get to. So it's not all like that, but the races themselves are pretty straight and narrow.
Now, the one thing that was a first for this game was they debuted the Nissan 370Z in the game. It's the first time they've ever shown a car for the first time in a video game before it was really shown to the public. Was that car completely overpowered?
No, I don't think so. I think the biggest car in the game is the Zonda. Once you max that out, all the bars are pretty much all the way to the right. So, yeah, Zonda is the one. Johnny went with the Zonda too. It's pretty awesome.
I'm surprised that Nissan decided to do that, though. You think the LA Car Show, all these big shows around the world where they could really debut that car for the first time, and instead they choose a video game where, admittedly, the cars don't look all that great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they looked okay, but when you compare it to a Forza or something like that, the cars aren't as realistic as some other games out there. So,
right.
I wonder what the sign-off process was for
and
that.
then just from the art style and the frame rate was bad. I started on the PS3 version, and the frame rate was really bad. on there, and I was almost to the point to where I almost couldn't drive it because I would go around certain turns, and I'm like, I can't see where I'm going.
Wow. Now, would you recommend this to fans who have been playing the series forever, or would you recommend it to no one?
I mean, I think fans should probably rent it and give it a try and see if they want to invest the time in it. Because, like I said, I mean, you will just blow through it without feeling like you have any competition against you.
We're moving on a high-risk, high-reward job this afternoon. I want to cut you in, so be paying close attention to me on this.
All right, next we're going to talk about Valve's 4-player zombie hunter Left 4 Dead. Now, the demo's been out for a couple days. We're working on a review right now. I don't know if it'll be up in time for this show. I kind of doubt it. We're kind of behind the 8 ball on that one. But what are our impressions after playing the demo for a bit? What do you guys think? Patrick, you've actually been diving into it, right?
Heck yeah. I'm just glad that there's finally a first-person shooter out there that doesn't involve World War II, Space Marines, or terrorism.
Now,
Here.
Now, are any of the guys bald?
No. They all have nice manes of hair, which I'm very happy to talk about.
And you look very cute playing as the girl.
Yeah.
You do. Well, I'm just saying. I was watching you play as the girl. You know, you have
He
a
looked cute and the girl looked cute.
The girl looked cute, but he had a very saucy wiggle. But go on, Patrick. Sorry.
Yeah, like I said, I really love the game, and I think Turtle Rock Studios did a good job with it. They've really come a long way from doing, Counter-Strike ports to the Xbox. They've made a really amazing product, and the online experience is just great. Having to team up with other people, proactively come up with different tactics, just communicating. It all gels very well with one another, and just the way that they pulled off the experience is really good, really immersive. What
do you think? A lot of people are going to play because you were playing the demo and you said some dude just went up on the roof and just started TKing people.
Yeah, it was. I didn't have the best experiences with my time with the demo. First, I had a.
Now, can you leave that guy in the dust if you want to and just go on with the game, or did it sort of tether you together in some way?
You're all supposed to stay together because, I mean, if the horde comes at you, you get overwhelmed and somebody has to revive you. I mean, you can sit there and shoot, but you have to wait for somebody to come pick you up.
But if you get left behind and they come after you, you're screwed.
Yeah.
I mean, you were
But
dead.
see, for me, it wasn't that I was left behind. It was I was the only person attempting to move forward.
Yeah.
Everyone was just sitting up on the roof waiting for zombies to come at them and shooting each other.
I think that's going to be the interesting aspect, how they
on
handle
360,
the skill.
Yeah, it was on 360.
Well,
how they handle the skill pairings, very much like they do in Gears of War, where they find the players who are at your skill level, and especially with the 360 version,
your intelligence level.
Yeah, exactly. But, you're going to find hopefully they're going to matchmake you with people who are not constant absolute griefers, but you're going to get doing that in any version.
I had that
like
kind
this
of
is a
stuff
game for
happening
the
in
friends
Splinter
list.
Cell too.
Yeah.
Definitely a game for the friends list. But I must admit, I played the demo version on the 360. I also played the demo version on my PC rig, and I just want to say here and now, PC gaming is back, motherfuckers.
When did it leave?
Well, it's been a kind of dry year for PC games, and after Lich King last week, and now Left 4 Dead coming out, I can't remember the last time I had so much fun on a PC shooter. Well done to the Left 4 Dead team. I think they've done a phenomenal job. Can't wait to play the full version.
Well, any shooter's going to be better. Well, 80% of the time, a shooter's going to be better on the PC than it is on the console anyway.
But, the difference has been recently when you've had, multi-platform shooters, they've always been dumbed down to the lowest common denominator so you can play them on the console. The PC version doesn't feel like a dumbed-down shooter. It doesn't feel like, they've had to chop bits out left, right, and center, and it looks. I mean, I have the benefit of playing it on a friend's rig, which is absolutely super duper. It's friggin' gorgeous.
Well,
Absolutely
Valve's not going to
gorgeous.
short the PC players.
Yeah.
The PC people are the people who built their studios. So, they've said time and time again that keeping their customers happy is the most important thing to their business. So,
And that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, and you see Team Fortress 2. I mean, it's been supported way better on the PC than anything that came out on the 360.
Yeah, I would really hope that Left 4 Dead would get better support on the 360 than Team Fortress did.
That's one reason why I'm inclined to get the Steam version, because with Team Fortress 2, they've been really proactive about keeping it up to date with all the class updates, the new maps. They really haven't done that with a 360 version thus far, so I'm hoping that Left 4 Dead hopefully will give console players that kind of
I think
support
Left 4 Dead
too.
will do well on the consoles. I think it'll be a good proving ground. I mean, certainly the biggest, the highest profile release for Valve on the consoles. I mean, yeah, we know Half-Life 2 came out, but at the end of the day, this one has got buzz across the board, and it's got a kick-ass advertising campaign behind it, and so people are coming into it fresh, if you will. And I think, yeah, we know the PC version is going to do well. It's going to be well supported. I think this time, I've got a sneaking suspicion that Microsoft and Valve have sort of like put heads together, and it's like, what can we do to get stuff out at an optimal time, as opposed to waiting 18 months for Half-Life 2 Episode 6, the Crowbar Menace, or whatever they're doing next.
Here's the big question. How does the netcode work on the consoles? Because remember, with Team Fortress 2, it was a total disaster.
I didn't have any real problems with that.
No?
It's not bad. It's
Yeah.
not bad. I mean, yeah, again, is it, again, as a PC game, I'm always biased towards PC shooters. It's not as fluid and as much fun for me. It's still bloody good, though. I mean, it's comparable to the netcode I've experienced on Gears of War,
Oh, that's great.
in my opinion.
Well, it does a step up from Team Fortress 2 then. Because it basically wouldn't work for the first 6 months it was on the market.
Well, again, I think, what'll be interesting, of course, with Microsoft going live with the new Xbox experience, it would be ironic if Left 4 Dead comes out and the new Xbox experience knocks it up for everybody.
Right.
We don't know how that's going to work, because that's going to be
true.
taking up a lot of server space for people to download. Will they actually be able to get online to play Left 4 Dead and Gears of War 2? We shall see.
Yeah, my other concern is game length. I'm afraid that Left 4 Dead is one of those things where I sit down and literally in a night I get totally addicted to it and I finish it at 2 in the morning, and then I'm like, that's it.
Yeah, it's 4 campaigns with a bunch of little mini missions in each one.
Yeah, well,
and the
I think
multiplayer.
you're pretty much intended to play each scenario more than once. They don't expect you to.
Yeah.
Well, I think
go
you would
through
play
it
it more
in
than
one
once,
time.
but I mean, are we talking about 2 hours of gameplay here? 4 hours? 6 hours?
Well, depending on the difficulty, it can stretch for a pretty long time. Even just the demo, which is 2 sections of the first level, it's pretty long if you rank up the difficulty, especially considering the director, which kind of alters the experience each time.
And I
So
think-
there's definitely some playtime to be had.
And it's also going to depend on if you get good quality games players playing with you, or a bunch of friggin' chipmunks.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's looking good. I mean, like I said, I'm excited as a PC gamer. And go back to Patrick's very first point. It's not World War II. It's not counter-terrorism. You're not an orc or anything like that.
Or a bald space marine.
Exactly. It's just something really cool, and it's zombies that isn't Resident Evil.
Sounds like everyone's into it so far?
Yep.
All around the house. All right, next up is Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe. Now, Justin, you reviewed this for us.
Yep.
Having walked by and looking at it here and there, I was a little surprised by how high the score was, but I've seen some other reviews rolling out, and it looks like you were pretty much in the same opinion with those guys. Why is this
Well-
game better than I think it is?
I don't know if it's better than you think it is. Maybe you're just being too hard on good old Mortal Kombat.
Could be.
To me, Mortal Kombat games, never the deepest or most technical or well thought out fighting games, but they put stuff in there that's fun. They make it fun.
It is
There's-
mindless fun. I think that's a good way to describe MK in general.
It's a bucket load of fun.
Yeah.
I actually liked it more than Justin.
I maybe
Wow.
I wouldn't give it the full bucket. Maybe 3/4 of a bucket, half a bucket, somewhere in there.
You're a bucket half full guy. He's a bucket half empty guy.
I see where you're coming from, and we had the discussion last week about perhaps the teen rating and how it's a little bit they've taken away some of the shock value of the Mortal Kombat franchise. But I've been playing the retail version since Friday, and I'm really enjoying it. But then I'm also a huge comic book geek, and I like some of the stuff they've done with the storyline.
Well, the storylines, I was surprised that they put. That's. It looks to me like that's where they put their effort and their budget, and they hired a comic writer. And the DC storyline actually.
The honest editing
Well,
your review,
I mean, it's,
that was
it's,
the thing I
it's
was
pretty
most
damn ridiculous.
surprised about.
It's like planets are merging. Oh no, I feel the rage. Have to fatality someone.
Yeah, because your
But,
review, you said you're really surprised about how well they pulled off, merging the two, and I thought that
Well,
was
for a
just going to
fighting
totally
game-
fall on their face.
For a fighting game, and considering that they're trying to take Mortal Kombat and DC, 2 universes of slightly dorky but slightly cool characters, and squish them together. I guess that's one way to do it. It worked out okay.
Well, even for the staunchest comic book fan, they did do some
The
world
comic book
merging.
writer knows his
Like
I
the
can
recent
tell.
DC
And he had
event,
some
so-
good stuff.
They tried to tie that
They
in there.
definitely worked with DC, hand in hand to get the story. I'm not going to say spot on, because there are obviously, as in almost every video game nowadays, holes you could drive a truck through.
Right.
and I personally would have liked to have seen, been given the option of playing through the entire story mode as one character, as opposed to switching from the Flash to Batman to Wonder Woman to Lex to Superman and so on. Because there are some characters.
And that's just sort of the way it plays out. There'll be a little cinema, and then suddenly, instead of playing the character you were playing in the last battle, you're a new guy.
Yeah.
But you generally fight 3 battles per character. But then there are also characters that you don't actually access. You don't play as Catwoman in the story mode. You don't play as Deadshot, which kind of sucks, especially given Deathstroke. Given the amount of loving care that's been given to Catwoman's breasts.
There was a lot of love and care paid to that.
Yeah, but you play as Wonder Woman, and I think you play as Sonya on the other side.
Now, being comic book fans, do you guys feel like they paid the proper respect to all the DC heroes and villains?
I think
there's some surprising stuff to me. They had Lex Luthor making fun of the Green Lantern. He's like, "You have no imagination. You make freaking hammers and animals with your thing. Give me the ring. You're an idiot." So I like that.
They had fun with it. There is one section that references a certain Star Trek sequel that is in the cinematics. That
At least one funny line in the
myself,
game.
And it was just delivered by the Joker. You got to play it to see it. But yeah, it was absolutely hysterical. I liked a lot of the stuff. And I think perhaps on some aspects they were a little bit too reverential. I mean, it would have been nice to have seen the characters when they're degenerating into the rage. That they do go and kill, and they do go and they get more bloody, and this is it. I mean, there are certain characters like Captain Marvel, who is one of the most all-powerful characters in the DC universe, and
he's totally cheap too, by the way.
Yeah,
special moves are pulled.
Yeah, but you can take him down. You can take him down pretty easily. But I mean, why is he not the final guy, perhaps, to go after the big bad guy? Why is it Superman? I mean, why isn't there a climatic battle between those two that is, really earth-shattering?
So isn't Superman technically the strongest superhero in the DC universe?
Captain Marvel is a god, and Superman is, is susceptible to only 2 things: one being kryptonite, the other one being magic. I would actually take Captain Marvel over Superman. And I know Patrick's got his own thoughts on who else is quite powerful in that arena.
Mayhaps the Spectre. He's pretty up there.
He's not in the game.
I know. But
he doesn't count.
What would be funny is if they let you play as Billy Batson in the game, which is Captain Marvel's 10-year-old alter ego. That would be
were there any
hysterical.
crazy surprise unlocks that you were like, no way, I can't believe they put him in the game?
You pretty much have the whole roster
on
right
the
at
MK
the start.
side, right?
There's 3 unlockable characters.
Yeah, I unlocked one and I still can't figure out how to actually play.
It's shoulder buttons.
Oh, right, okay. All right, yeah, there is one character. I mean, there is space there for
it's
Mortal
not
Kombat
about
versus
unlockables,
DC.
really.
Yeah, DC.
It's not like a huge roster.
There'll be, I think, if there's a sequel, I think this will sell well enough. And you know what? I'm actually relatively pleased because given how many crappy superhero games we've had over the last 3-4 years, the fact that Lego Batman came along was a lot of fun. This one come along is a lot of fun, and now we've got Arkham Asylum coming and DC Universe Online. My comic fanboy side is very, very moist.
Now they cut most of the chaff out of this: the kart racing, the chess, the
the weapons.
I don't think anyone's gonna miss it.
Yeah, well, they put maybe you could have used one crazy mode, but they focused their energy on the story mode, and they took their roster, they set it. There's not a ton of unlockables, so there's no palette swap characters or anything like that.
Yeah, one of the last
They're
Mortal
cheap
Kombat
clones.
games, it bloated up to a list of 80 characters or something.
Really
Right, but
don't
there's
need
5
them.
clones per
Yeah.
character type, and it's not really fair.
3 robot ninjas, 2 ghost ninjas.
I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I must say that it's certainly one of the best looking Mortal Kombat games I've seen. I know we're on a new generation, but I do like the amount of time they put into
I like
vests.
the
It took
battle
them a while.
damage. The
It
battle
took them a
damage
while.
thing is cool, where you can see
Yeah.
the clothes ripping, or
Yeah.
someone gets punched in the face like 4 times in a row, then they'll get black eyes, some blood in the face. It's
mean,
like
and-
right then, it actually looks pretty good for the real time damage systems. That's actually pretty good.
I think the thing about it that makes it okay for comic book fans and Mortal Kombat fans is that it's perfectly aware of what it is. So with that, it doesn't take itself too seriously, and if you're playing it and you don't really take it too seriously in turn, then it's a lot of fun, and it's a decent fighting game.
Who should buy this game?
DC fans, I think they'll be happy if you're a comic book fan and you get it.
DC fans, people who weren't raised on the old Mortal Kombat and feel really strongly about the fatality thing, because it really does. It does take away a little bit. Some of the new fatalities are kind of jokes. Like you'll see regular moves during the fight, that look way more painful and brutal than the so-called, fatalities or brutality. So
The lack of the
I can
fatalities.
understand the disappointment there, and it doesn't feel like
But I
you
think-
totally murdered the other guy when you don't totally murder him, literally.
Kind of finish him.
Well, again, if in story mode, if you actually perform, if you actually totally murder the guy, and then all of a sudden he's up and you're talking to him in the next cutscene, that is a bit of a
Yeah.
disconnect.
Well, in story mode, you can't do any kind of finisher at all. They totally took it out. So those are for verses.
So that it keeps the continuity, I guess it makes sense.
But I think if anybody brought, say, the previous 3 Mortal Kombat games,
If someone
they should
liked
trade
the
them in
old
to get
3D
this
Mortal
one
Kombat?
because this is definitely better. It's probably the best of the
It's-
last 3 or 4.
Yeah, it's definitely the best 3D Mortal Kombat so far.
Wow.
That's saying something.
No, the other ones were terrible.
not
Way
really.
worse than the 2D ones.
Yeah, the other ones were total wank.
You want me to assault an enemy base with him? Come on, we'll kill things, blow things up. Oh, it'll be fun!
All right, next we're going to talk about a topic that's one week is one person's favorite topic, and the next week is someone else's favorite topic, but it's never, ever everyone's favorite topic, and that is the MPD sales report.
MPD.
Lots
one-
of
one month,
tears
though, right?
of joy and pain are about to commence. I think we all know at this point, the Wii's pretty much, it's game over. 803,000 units sold.
The Wii's going to have its own console, its own little category right now, as in toy that's supposed to be a video game console. It's no longer a console. It's a toy.
Yeah. I mean, 803,000. The next, we won't count the DS, which was at 491,000. The next closest was the 360 at 371. So you add that to 190,000 PS3s that were sold, and then you double that, and well, it's not quite double the two added together like it usually is. So maybe we saw a little bit of a
You'd have
resurgence
to-
on the
you'd have to-
360.
Yeah, you'd have to lobby. Well, what's ironic is the PSP outsold the PS3.
Yeah,
I mean, that's. I mean,
by
they-
3,000 units.
Yeah, and the PlayStation 2 was only 70,000 units behind, under 70,000 units behind the PS3.
Why are people buying the PlayStation 3? Because honestly, I've looked back through this year, and it has had a better software lineup this year than the 360, I think.
I'll disagree with you on that, but I also I think it's the price first and foremost.
Yeah,
Microsoft
the
were very
price
smart.
is huge difference now. And when
People
you,
just don't, especially now with the economy tanking.
Yeah, I mean, even if they wouldn't, maybe necessarily. I mean, there's a limit to the sacrifice you want to make to play video games.
when the experience is so close, when you're talking about
The games.
the exclusives on the PS3 versus everything else is pretty much the same on the 360.
Plus, you bring in the back catalog into picture. You buy a 360, which is cheaper than a PS3, and you also have this great back catalog of the Halo titles, of Gears 1 that you can go out and pick up really cheap. You can buy them used.
Oh, you also have the backwards compatibility of the PlayStation 3. I mean,
Well, not anymore.
yeah.
It's not backwards compatible.
Yeah,
at
some
all.
people are on edge about that because certain SKUs of the PS3 aren't backwards compatible as others.
The ones that are available now.
Yeah.
Unless you manage to find someone that's been stuck in a back room somewhere.
I mean, the
or
trump
get it off eBay or whatever.
The trump
Yeah,
card
great.
for the PS3 was supposed to be
They sell for a
Blu-ray,
lot.
but considering Blu-ray
Craigslist.
discs are on average $10 to $15 more expensive than their DVD counterparts, people aren't buying Blu-ray. And there was actually a piece.
Well, their other problem is that they also have to buy an HD TV before they see the increase in quality on the
Yeah.
Blu-ray. So you're asking them to buy a console that's double the price. You're asking them to buy a $1,000 television just so they can see the difference in their movies. Right now, with the economics,
And of course, you can play regular DVDs on the PS3. We're not saying that you can only play Blu-ray discs, but I mean that was I actually saw a piece written last week that the economy, some people are postulating that the economy could bring down the Blu-ray, sorry, as a format because people then the movies aren't selling because they're more expensive and people are buying cheaper DVDs. So we might not even see Blu-ray in a couple of months.
I don't
mean,
believe that. I mean, there's
Yeah.
got to be another format that's going to take over, and it's going to be Blu-ray.
But I'm just saying it might be that Blu-ray goes on hiatus and people stop producing it until we've got more money to buy the stuff, or the cost of the discs come down.
I'm interested to hear though why you think the 360's had a better year than the PS3 software-wise.
Well, I mean, you just look at let's look at the top 10. What's the number one game?
But sales doesn't mean that they had better games. It's not all about sales. It's just
Okay,
about,
so
not
all right.
necessarily,
Well,
but-
let's figure out what have been the heavy hitters this year on the PS3.
Console wars.
Yeah, console wars. Go on. All right, well, let's
Put 'em up.
The console exclusives on the PS3. Little Big Planet, which has come out. Obviously, the MPD figures only show the first week, and it sold
Right.
pretty well, but it's not the system moving.
But again,
that-
this
that
isn't
we
about
always say.
sales because there are great games that don't sell squat.
It's a great game. Let's look at Metal Gear Solid. So there are those two.
Resistance.
Some people. All right. You bring out Resistance. I'm going to lob out Gears of War.
Right,
Gears of War
that's fair.
kills Resistance. Stone Dead. Sorry, PS3 owners.
Yeah.
It's a bloody good game on the PS3,
agree
but
a little
still,
bit.
it gets murdered by Gears of War.
I wouldn't say it gets murdered. It's certainly a better game and a more enjoyable game. But
In my opinion, it gets. You know my background.
It's like
with
Mortal
shooters. I've played
Kombat,
enough
Shane. You can
and
have only
worked on
one
enough.
survive.
what'd you say?
So it's like Mortal Kombat. Only one can survive.
But again, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. The lack of RPGs on it, and Fallout has come out, and Fallout is selling well, but it is better on the 360. It's selling better. People are going to
But
that version
again,
first.
sales are irrelevant here.
Fable, all right, Fable 2. That's another
Well,
great.
I reviewed Fable 2. I thought it was good, but it wasn't great.
Well, I think that's where we disagree again, because I thought it was way better than your review.
On PS3, I guess you could play Oblivion PS3, right? I mean, for big RPGs on PS3,
Yeah.
they don't have the Fallout, and even the JRPGs. I mean, they're not picking
I
up
mean,
a lot of those.
Banjo's not very good.
Yeah, I mean, really, to me, I think it comes down to the price and the momentum because of the Xbox Live friends list. I mean, I know I have way more friends that are on Live more consistently than they're on the PlayStation Network. And so I think there's definitely that peer pressure happening just because it's already got that momentum happening.
Oh, granted, I play
It's
my
like, hey, I
360
bought
way
this,
more than I
yeah.
play my PS3 purely because I have a friends list of 100 people on my 360 and I have a friends list of like 13 on my PS3. There's no doubt if I'm going to play
I'm the
online,
same.
that's why. But again, we're talking about the software lineup from this respective year. We're not talking about why.
But again, we go back to the back catalog, and you look at Halo 2 is on there, Halo 3 is on there. Sorry, no, Halo 2, Halo 3, Gears 1. There's a slew of other games that you can go out and you can pick up. So, for example, in a tighter economic time, what are you going to buy? A PS3 and maybe one game, or are you going to go and buy a 360 arcade, which is a $200 bucks?
No, we're not talking about sales. We already
No,
established
I'm just
that.
saying but your
Talking about the
choices.
software lineup.
But the choices with regards to you look at the back catalog. Who's got the better back catalog right now?
Well, I mean, there are some good games that released in the first year for the PS3 as well.
Yeah.
Go ahead and name some.
Uncharted.
Uncharted. No, absolutely right. You're good.
The first Resistance was good. Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and Clank was actually, hasn't actually been surpassed as a platform game as far as I'm concerned. So again, yeah, great point. But I think for every Ratchet and Clank, there are 3 or 4, bloody good titles on the 360.
I don't know how many good
Not
platformers are there.
perhaps not
There aren't any good
platformers, but
platformers, period, anymore. It's a dead genre. But I don't know.
Well,
I think a
Blink's
case
the-
could be made that this year the PS3 has had a better year than the 360.
I
play my 360 more because of Xbox Live, but
I said this at the beginning of the year when we came in to do Game Trailers TV, and everybody was like, "This is the year for the PS3. This is the year for the PS3." No, the 360, as far as I'm concerned, has come through again because Microsoft have been more buttoned in. They've gone and bought the JRPGs from Japan. They've
But what
taken
have they
care of
put
that
out
side.
this year? I mean, they put out Gears and they put out Fable 2. That's it. Those are their big exclusive games from the whole year.
And
I would definitely put Metal Gear up over and Little Big Planet over those games.
I
Gears
dis-
is their crowning jewel. That's pretty much all they have from this year.
Well, I mean,
And you
I
can say that you
disagree.
disagree with my review of Fable 2, but if you look at the Metacritic average, my review is dead on for that game.
I
So-
disagree with everybody on Fable
Well,
2.
that's,
I love
that's
Fable
you
2.
in a room by yourself.
Which
That's
is-
what I'm
which is
saying.
where I
Where
belong.
is someone's argument saying that the 360 had a better software lineup this year? Where is it?
Well, all right, you do the comparisons. I mean, GTA came out. They went
both consoles.
both consoles, and I mean
Fallout, all the big third-party games now come out on both platforms.
And seeing as we're talking about NPD, which is sales figures, and I know you want to say no sales figures. What are the sales figures? Which format sold more each time? 360.
Well, yeah, it's had a
360.
year head start. Of course, it's going to sell more. If it didn't sell more, it would be a total disaster.
GTA was the crown jewel in the PlayStation franchise.
So what?
But it's not.
It
it's
came
not
out
anymore.
for the PS3.
It came out and got outsold on a 3-to-1
You
basis.
just keep going back to sales. This is
This is
discussion.
an NPD sales
We've
discussion.
shifted gears from the sales discussion 10
That's
minutes
not
ago.
on the list.
See, you keep going back because you can't win this argument.
I still maintain that Xbox had a better year. I think they surprised a lot of people.
Give me games.
All right, you give me games.
I just did. I just went through the whole software lineup of the PlayStation 3.
But how can you say that they're better games when you actually have to equate the sales figures and I mean the games
You don't.
All right,
Sales have nothing to do with quality.
All right,
Let's get
just
that out
say
of the
this.
way right now.
Let's just say this. All right, I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say that Metal Gear Solid was not as good as everybody says, because it's a fucking niche game and everybody bought into the hype that it was the first big PlayStation 3
Look,
exclusive.
I'm not the world's biggest Metal Gear fan, but I enjoyed playing that game. I had a lot of fun playing that game.
And that's the only game I've
friggin'
actually like
brains
this
out.
year
Yes.
where I finished the game and went right back and played it again.
Playing it again.
Bored
yeah.
me stupid. Bored me stupid.
But see, you're finding yourself here in this corner where everyone else isn't sitting.
But that's what I'm grumpy. I do that. That's why you brought me onto the show, because I'm.
So
I'm
can you admit that
contrary
I've
to
won this
everybody
argument?
else.
The PS3's had a better year software-wise,
No.
not sales-wise. Software quality of software-wise.
No, not at all. Because in my opinion, Gears of War and Fable are, certainly better than the offerings that have come out. this year.
Better than Little Big Planet.
Yeah,
You're crazy.
it's my opinion. That's opinions
All right.
like son. Everybody has them.
That's true.
Well, regardless, I
Doesn't
think.
mean they're all right though.
No, I mean absolutely, and I'm glad you admit that your opinion's not right.
Well, regardless, I think everyone can agree that the PS3 definitely had a better year this year than last year.
Can you give us that much grunt?
No, absolutely. I mean, let's face it. It wouldn't have been difficult. But when the PSP is outselling the PS3,
I
there's
mean,
a
if you want
problem.
to go by sales, then what about the Wii? You're trying to say that we had the better software lineup of all of them because it sold more?
Well, no, like I said, we've already moved the Wii into a
Now you don't want to
toy
talk about
console.
sales.
I'm discounting the Wii because the Wii is not a console.
Anyway, let's do a quick rundown of the software sales for the month. Fable 2 did sell very well. Wii Fit sold another 500,000. I can't comprehend
Bollocks.
that.
Everyone will
It's the only way to get a balance board, though.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how much of a draw that is.
Yeah, and then you could use it for Shaun White and for Skate It, which are both coming out very soon. Actually, Shaun White is out now.
There's a lot of fat chicks buying Wii Fit right now.
Wii Play doesn't really count at 5th. Mario Kart with the wheels still selling well, 300,000 sold. Saints Row 2, not a bad showing.
Surprising.
I'm
270K
surprised
in
with
6
SOCOM,
months.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a game that a lot of people didn't even know was going to be sold at retail. They sure
No.
figured it out.
No, there's an example of a great PS3 game.
Yeah. Notice I didn't bring that one up. Little Big Planet, for the limited time it was on sale, 215K. That's pretty good. NBA 2K9, lots of round ballers out there still picking up games. And to round out the top 10, Dead Space for the 360 was 193K, which is great.
Glad they
Yeah,
made
for a
it.
new franchise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally
in the
stoked
top
for
10.
EA on that. It's good to see that people are picking up. It'll be interesting to see if the same holds true for Mirror's Edge this month. Although I kind of think it probably won't, but you never know. Guitar Hero, kind of tanked, huh?
But you say that, I mean, where's Rock Band?
When did it come out, though? Wasn't it like right at the end
Yeah, where
of the
is
month?
Rock Band? Good point.
Rock Band's down
16.
At, PS3 is down at 16.
Yeah, the PS3 outsold the 360 Rock Band. That no way. There's something wrong there.
There's something weird there.
Yeah, there's a mistake in here somehow.
Maybe somebody did some bundles. You never know.
Well, some of these numbers do say unverified next to them. What does that mean? Does that mean a fanboy put the list together? Anyway, I guess the good news is that the sales are up a huge percentage over last year, which means the industry continues to grow, even though everyone's being told every day that their bank accounts are going to be drained and they're not going to be able to get their money back. So,
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the 360, I mean, it's pretty much toe-to-toe with the Halo hype sales.
from the year before.
Yeah.
And then best of all, Wii Music.
Which is outside the top 20. Didn't even make the top 20.
That's right.
Give us the Wii Music drum. Hang on, I'm gonna have to shake my arms or something to give you a drum roll and have a.
That's a pat on your microphone.
Oh, no.
Wii Music, 81,000 sold. Epic fail.
I'd heard anecdotal reports of people that like had to like box up their whole shipments and send them back to Nintendo.
Ooh, harsh.
Nobody wanted them.
Yeah.
Good. Good. And I don't wish any ill will on Nintendo. I'm just glad that one of these casual products finally flopped.
Well, the one that deserved to flop the most.
Yeah, true. At least consumers finally spoke with their dollars on this, and maybe Nintendo will get back to making some freaking good games
Well,
that
there's
people like
actually-
us want to play.
There's actually better games coming out on the DS than on the Wii right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the DS has always been
The,
strong.
the DS is so strong.
After the
now.
first year.
Yeah, I'm loving my DS right now with some of the great stuff that's coming out.
And damn it, Fable still beat Wii Fit. So even the top casual game could not top the charts. So
Even the game that Shane hated.
Well, what are Wii Fit's
I did
total
not hate
sales then?
Fable. I loved Fable, but
Wii Fit's got to have crazy total sales.
Wii Fit? Oh yeah, what is up to probably 3 million in the U.S. right now?
I'm sure
Maybe
by
more?
now, yeah.
That's a lot of
It's
balance boards.
probably actually up more because I mean you think about it. It's was it 6? It's been out 8 months so far, averaging averaging about 500,000 a month.
Yeah, I think this month was the highest one in a while though.
Perhaps it's because they got stock in.
That could be.
Yeah, I'm sure that's all it is.
But either way, good news all around for the video game industry. I think that's one thing we can all get behind.
Make it do something fun. Anything to break this bitter monotony.
All right, well, that will do it for this week's episode. I have to admit that was a pretty high-spirited episode of Invisible Walls. Sometimes we're kind of subdued. I think this week we really brought it.
You want to tell me that next week's episode's coming early too?
Yeah, that's a good point. Next week is Thanksgiving, so we will be rocking out the episode. Grumpy, when is that going to go live, actually?
We're hoping that it's going to go live next Wednesday before everybody pisses off the Thanksgiving holiday.
It will be a somewhat shorter episode, obviously, because we don't have as much time to work on it, but we still are busting our asses to make sure we get an ep out to you guys before the Thanksgiving holiday. So everybody look for that next week, and we'll see you then.
And don't forget to see us on Facebook.
Invisible Walls out.